introduce someone today, someone that I've been friends with for a very long time. She's a business owner, and she helped me get out of Moreno Valley and back into Downey. She's a great friend of mine, and I want to just bring her on here. The main reason why I want to bring her on here is because she specializes in something that's a hot topic with new homeowners, with home buyers, and that's ADUs. And so why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself, your name, and what you do?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. My name is Jessica, and like Jesse said, I do specialize in the development and construction of ADUs, garage conversions, new constructions, the ins and the outs of it. So yeah, that's what I'm here for today. So thank you for having me, and let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to just set the conversation and set the tone with pretending that I'm a 10-year-old and I know nothing about ADUs and nothing about construction, because the people that are watching this are most likely going to be either new homeowners, potential future home buyers, maybe a family that, I don't know, has a grandma that has moved into their home and maybe they want to build a space for them in the backyard. And so that's kind of what I want to bring and what I want to lead the conversation with. But I also want the objective of this convo to just bring game to the people. Bring free game.
I'll do my best.
To people about ADUs, construction. But first off, ADU, accessory dwelling unit, right?
Yes.
And I think a lot of people get it mistaken with conversions. Right? Is it the same thing?
It's the same thing. An ADU is an ADU. Whether you do a new construction or you do a garage conversion, an ADU, it is what it is. So what a lot of people, have a misconception of what an ADU versus a JADU might be.
Okay.
So a lot of people think that because the ADU is connected, so any ADU, whether it's connected to the front house or it's connected to a garage, the very first build out, that's considered an ADU, whether it's connected or detached. The second unit is what becomes the junior ADU that has much more restrictions to it versus the first ADU. So whether you're doing a garage conversion or a new construction, an ADU is an ADU. There isn't a difference until you create that second unit.
Can the JADU be attached to the ADU or attached to the front house?
It could be attached to the front house. A lot of my clients, what they do is if they have an independent garage, they'll convert that garage. Boom, that's your first ADU. Then what they'll do is they'll attach something to the front house, and then that becomes your second ADU. Or if the garage is already attached to the front house, that's your first ADU. And then if it's detached, that becomes your JADU, but that has a lot more requirements. The biggest you can go on an ADU is 500 square feet.
Oh, wow.
That's as big as you can go. 500 square feet. And then when you have your first ADU, you can go as big as 1,200 square feet.
Oh, wow.
But then there comes the city jurisdictions. So the state trumps the city, but then it's up to the city as far as how big you can go, the percentage of how big you can go.
Can you go bigger than the front house?
No.
Oh, wow.
Some cities you're allowed to go up to 50%. So if your front house is 1,400, you can go up to 700.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
700, 700. So even though you might think, the state allows me to go up to 1,200 square feet, it doesn't necessarily mean that. You have to check with your city to see what you can and can't do. But yeah, technically state, you can go up to 1,200, and then there comes like additional fees like impact fees. And the bigger you go, the more school fees you pay. Sometimes it's based on price per square footage, and then you have to pay the school district and then the fire district and so on and so forth. So yeah.
Got it. So let's start with garage conversions, because a bunch of people, when they're home shopping, they think, a detached dwelling, I'm just going to turn that into an ADU.
Okay.
But it's not as easy as it sounds, right?
So it's definitely not. So if I had a recommendation for home buyers out there when looking for a property, and if you anticipate building an ADU, there's two things to look for. One, if it's detached, okay, great. You can convert the garage, which is perfect. If it's attached, that's also fine, but it can get a little bit more complicated when you're doing a garage conversion for a garage that's already attached to the house.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that.
You see, because what will be required is that your primary home, the house that the garage is attached for, be reinforced.
Oh.
You see, then you have to
wow.
keep in mind, a lot of people have the misconception, unfortunately, when you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
When buying a house and you see a garage, you think, oh, perfect, I have a garage. I can convert it. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
Does that garage have footings? Was that garage built in the 1950s where maybe the laws weren't as strict? You know, when you look at a garage and you think, oh, great, we have a roof. But do you really have a roof? You know, is that roof really something that we can keep? Sometimes a garage conversion is just keeping one wall up.
Oh, got it.
You know, there's been times where in order to avoid going solar, the city will require us to keep up one wall.
Sure.
The garage is made up of 4.
Yeah.
If you keep up one wall, technically on paper, it's considered a garage conversion.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it doesn't. So let's say you have that one wall and yes, it's a garage conversion, but you have no footings. None of the lumber works. You have to do a full demo.
What's a footing?
A footing is kind of like the reinforcement of the garage. All houses have to have footings. They have to have you have your footings that are into the ground, and then you have your anchor bolt, your hold downs, then you have your concrete slab, and then you build up.
Ah, okay. I
Without
follow.
footings and a good foundation, you can't build up. You know, and in California, we're prone to earthquakes. You have to have a good foundation. So my suggestion would be when you go to look for a property, don't just assume this is going to be a great,
Right.
You need to make sure you know what you're getting into, and you can't just go off the notion that it's great. I can just come in here and revamp it and convert it. No, sometimes we're required to rebuild the garage and just keep that one wall.
Wow, how crazy.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go into the attached garage because that one seems a little bit interesting to me.
Yeah.
In order to be able to convert an attached garage,
Attached or detached?
attached.
Attached, okay.
So like, let's say it's, driveway, garage is attached to the single family home.
Yes, okay.
Does that turning into the ADU, does that have access to the main? It doesn't have access to the main house, right?
No, so what an ADU is what the city wants to know is that whoever's going to be living in that property can
Yeah.
survive without having access to the front house.
Oh, okay.
Like you should
Well
be able
said.
to shower, cook. You basically should have all your survival stuff within that. It's a house, it's a unit, it's
Yeah.
an apartment. So you don't have access. It's like in a condo, you're attached to the next condo, but you don't have access to that condo.
Got it.
You know,
I understand.
yeah. So so in a house, when you have your garage, that's the exact same concept. You need to have
Got
all
it.
of your utilities, your power, your water, your gas, whether it's going to be electric or gas.
How do you reinforce the actual
Sometimes
dwelling?
you have to break the primary home.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to break a wall, an exterior wall or an interior wall, and you have to create a footing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, everything that you just said, like what goes on in my mind is just cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It adds
it's not
up.
as easy as
It's
people think. Then
Definitely not. Another thing that I would also recommend is I get a lot of clients that, they call me. They're like, "Hey, Jess, I want to do this," or "I have the idea of doing this." I'm like, "Hey, do we have our blueprints ready?
yeah.
Where are we at with our blueprint process?" You have to. I always tell my clients, you have to view it. I feel like we've all built a toddler toy, like
Sure.
a toddler bike or a toddler situation.
Right.
The first thing that we tend to reach for is, "Hey, I don't understand it. Bring me the manual script."
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same thing that goes into construction when building an ADU. A contractor, to be able to provide you an accurate quote, needs to have something to reference.
Right.
So all of the footings, all of that would be dictated in the blueprints. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So let's talk about BuildADU. This
Yes.
is your company,
Yes.
and BuildADU is specializing in the construction of new ADUs. Now,
Yeah, so we-
does that mean from start to finish? And from start, do I mean the actual drawings? Okay.
Yeah, so BuildADU home remodel, we specialize in the development and the construction of ADUs, and then obviously the interior remodeling, so kitchens, bathrooms. Not every client wants to do an ADU.
Right.
So there's different streams within the company. So in specific with the ADU part, yes. If you're looking for a one-stop shop where you're like, hey, Jess, I have no idea where to start. Can you just either show me, lead me? And with us, it's from start to finish. You start with us, you end with us.
Got it.
So that's option number one. And then option number two that I tell my clients as well is you have the option to go out there, get your blueprints drafted up, get them approved, get your revisions or your corrections. You're going to have to do a lot of legwork on that end. As a homeowner and you don't know where you're starting, you're going to have to put in that work. But if you're looking for a one-stop shop where it's like we do it for you from start to finish, then we would be the ideal person to come to.
What happens in the beginning? Like, let's say you get a brand new lead, a brand new inquiry, and someone wants to put an ADU in the backyard. Do you have some sort of phone call first and then you visit the property? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that's actually awesome. So in the beginning, someone has a question, I want to do this, so on and so forth. So first I create something called a property report.
Okay.
So a property report is something that I pull up based on the home address, the do's and don'ts, your setbacks. Some cities can have setbacks of 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet. Some cities can go up to, if you're doing like one story, 16 feet, depending if you're doing second story. So I put all of this together. I put in this preliminary property report, there's a ballpark price point.
Oh, cool.
Of what you should expect to maybe pay. Right? So I needed to have my clients, a lot of people don't even know what to expect. So I send them out, look, this is your
That's
ballpark,
comforting.
right? So it's kind of like, this is your ballpark price point. You know, if this is within your budget, then we can move over to the second phase and do a formal meet and greet where I would come out, check out your electric meter, locate your water meter, see if there's any easements on the property. That would be the second phase. But in the beginning, I send out a property report, ballpark price points, and then you guys, husband, wife, partners, they can speak with amongst each other and see if it's within that ballpark.
Interesting.
In the beginning, because it's so difficult to be able to provide an accurate quote, this is assuming...
of course, because the finishes could always increase price.
It's assuming that the client that comes to me doesn't have their blueprints ready. So I can only give you a ballpark price point. Right? So sometimes clients will be like, well, this contractor's charging me this amount. You know, and then the question comes up, well, what are they referencing? You know?
Right.
You know?
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's like, what are they referencing? How much lumber are we going to use? What type of lumber? Number one, number two. You know, how far is your trench going to be? So these questions come up as I get them all the time. Well, this contractor's charging me $90,000.
Where'd the 90 come from?
Where'd the 90
Based
come
off
from?
what? A verbal convo?
Can
or
you break that down? No, I've been in situations. Where I've been called in because the homeowner, she said, the contractor came out and gave her a quote. I don't know what it was, but she asked him, she said, well, can I get that in writing? Can I get a proposal? He said, well, I am the proposal.
Oh, wow.
I said, oh, we're going to have...
That's kind of sketchy, isn't it?
But it happens a lot.
That's kind of scary, too.
It happens a lot in this industry. You have to be very careful with who you work with. You know, this is people's life savings.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I start first. I do a property report. I send it out. This is your flat fee for your blueprints, you know, and then this is your ballpark for the build outs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually quite comforting.
Yeah.
I like that.
You kind of have like an idea. If I'm within your budget, I'm within your budget. If not, I'm just not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of people in the industry that, man, like you just said, maybe they're not even licensed too. Maybe that's why they don't provide any quotes, or maybe they don't provide any like paperwork.
Well, I don't know, because you have to pull permits.
Right.
So unless you're trying to do it under the radar, which I highly would always steer people away from that.
What happens if you do it under the radar? Like if you just get some handyman to build you an ADU?
No. There's two things that can happen. Either one, you will be required to bring it up to code. Two, you will be required to tear it down.
Wow.
Like tear it down.
That sucks.
You have to know when you're purchasing a property, if there is something that was converted, is it permitted?
Right.
You know, whether it's a barbecue, whether it's whatever it is, a recreational room. And I would highly recommend an ADU because they're so hot right now.
Yeah, they are.
Just get permits, get it in writing, go to the city. Obviously, I feel like it should be disclosed on the seller's end.
Sure.
But as
Absolutely.
a buyer, it ends up being your responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Absolutely. Buyer be aware.
Yes. Yeah. Don't just buy as is. Don't buy as is, guys, because it can cost you thousands of dollars to
Yeah.
bring it up to code.
Yeah, in escrow, I typically like to go to City Hall and pull all permits for my clients.
Everything.
That way they're able to see what they're getting into.
And you should also have a certificate of occupancy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I called you about this recently.
I said, Jesse, get that certificate of occupancy
Yeah.
because sometimes you can have a final inspection done, but if a certificate of occupancy wasn't provided,
Yeah.
you know, it's like I always just recommend get that certificate of occupancy. You should be good, but don't get anything.
We were issued the certificate of occupancy today, and we closed escrow in
that's
December
beautiful.
of
that's
something.
awesome.
So it worked out perfect.
It's
I'm happy.
perfect, yeah.
But let's get back into like this is people's life savings, and a bunch of people, I don't know, they wait because they're stacking up the money to be able to afford something like this.
Yeah.
How are you seeing homeowners, like ones that you're working with right now? How are you seeing these people either finance or pay for this kind of stuff? Because you can pull loans, right?
You can. I don't really ask my clients, hey, how are you paying for this?
Sure.
But from what I have been told is that they're doing HELOCs.
Okay.
They're doing HELOCs.
Yeah, that is a big.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
topic right now.
I don't know if they're doing cash out refis. I don't.
That would be a little bit weird, to be honest, because
Yeah.
interest rates are too high.
Right, they're too high. So they are doing HELOCs or they're doing credit cards.
Oh, okay.
Us and specifically, we do have the option to pay with credit card.
Oh, wow.
People have credit. I don't know. They have credit cards, but I think a large portion is HELOCs.
I can see credit card being cool because I opened up a credit card recently and there was 18 months, zero interest.
Zero interest, yeah.
So that could be pretty cool. You could
It's
just carry the
perfect.
balance for a couple of months.
An average construction build out from start to finish would probably take about, I would say, drafting blueprints submittals about 8 to 12 weeks. 12
Wow.
weeks is pushing it, but
Just to be
assume
safe, right?
just
Because the
assume
city
you're at
could be
12
slow.
weeks. Oh my gosh, it could be so slow. Just assume 12 weeks and then construction build out add an additional 4 months.
Okay.
Inspections, we've been hit with a ton of rain, so there's some projects that have just been sitting there, but inspections, material delivery, so just put an additional 4 months,
Okay.
right? So now you're like at
What are
7.
we at right now?
I would
That's
say
7?
3 for drafting and submittals, and then 4. So 7.
7? Okay.
Yeah, 7 is appropriate. And then if you put it all on a credit card, assuming that you get a credit card that big, even better. 0% no interest, and you pay as you go. Because that's
Wow.
also how you should be paying a build out in
Sure.
phases.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't just be paying lump sums.
Yeah, I've heard people paying like 50% up front and then another 50 halfway through the project. And
Yeah.
I've heard some horror stories about contractors just leaving.
It's insane. It's insane. You see, because when you get a legit contractor whose best interest is to push out projects, they will do things the right way.
Right.
Contractor State License Board only allows you to collect a 10% deposit.
Oh, okay.
That's all
That's
you
good to
should
know.
That's all your contractor should be collecting from you. There's no reason that you should agree, well, I need 50,000 up front because I need to buy material.
Buy materials and permits and all that shit.
A well-funded company that's doing things the right way is able to partially float,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So it was us in specific, it's 10% up front, and then it's about 8 to 9 payments after that.
Got it. And it's as you go, right?
it's
As
as you go.
as the project progresses.
Correct. A homeowner should see inspection cards being signed off.
Huh, inspection cards. That's cool.
Yeah, you have to have, I always tell my homeowners, in this industry, you have the entire California State Board that supports you. You know, you have inspections that protect you. You should know, hey, did we pass underground plumbing? Yes, we passed it, and the inspector came by and approved it, signed off. You know?
Yeah.
So there's so many things to protect a homeowner if things are being done the correct way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if you're obviously going with the lowest bid, and I mean, I don't know how much protection you have at that point, you know,
Right.
but if you're doing things the right way, a homeowner is most of the time always protected.
What cities are you currently operating in?
So we do all of the Inland Empire, so San Bernardino County, Riverside County, and we dabble into Montebello. as well, or LA County. We actually just finished one down the street.
No way.
Yeah, which is awesome.
What did you do? A new construction
It was
ADU?
a new construction, 755, two bedroom, 1 bath.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I thought that was super awesome. On my way up here, I was like, oh wait,
This looks familiar.
this looks familiar. Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, so I would say all of San Bernardino, dabble into LA, and then Riverside County, and then Orange County.
Between the ADUs, the JADUs, or home remodels, what are you doing more of right now?
We just have different teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not just with us in specific. It's not just one team.
Yeah.
So we have different teams. So we have Team A that handles all of our ADUs and home additions.
Got it.
Home additions is a whole different animal too.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you're looking into, you don't want to buy right now, so you're doing a HELOC and you want to make the house bigger.
Right.
That's Team A. And then
interesting.
bathrooms and kitchens, that's Team B. So, I mean, bathrooms and kitchens, we pump them out within 3 weeks.
Wow.
And ADUs, I mean, it's definitely like 7 months.
Yeah, a little bit more.
So Team B is pumping out work like crazy.
For the home additions, do you need city permits for that too? Do you have to go through the same process?
So I'm going to tell you something. In the state of California, you need permits for everything.
Sure.
If you're doing windows, you need permits. If you're doing demo, you need a demo permit. You need permits for everything. So yes, if a home has been, square footage has been added to a home, it's considered unpermitted. The square footage for the resale value is not there. You know, if you buy as is, good luck. So the way that you can also know is if you pull up the property taxes, it'll tell you how many square feet you're paying in property taxes. So if you see that the property taxes is $1,200, but your house is $1,600, but you're only paying on $1,200, something's not right.
Yeah, something's off. Interesting.
Yeah. So home additions require permits, yes.
So let's talk about solar panels, because a bunch of new construction is now requiring solar panels.
Yes.
And how does it work with your company? Do you guys hire it out and you guys get another company to come in and do the solar panel install, or do you guys do the installation?
So we don't dabble too much in solar.
Okay.
Not even going to pretend like we do.
Yeah.
So I
respect that.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, there's some things that we're really, or it's like our forte, and there's some things that it's not. So it's, yeah. So with solar panels, I kind of just outsource it. I don't even deal with it. I kind of just make the connection.
Got it.
And then when some cities, I can't even submit blueprints without having a schematic design of the solar.
Oh, wow. You're kidding.
Yeah. So sometimes I need that up front.
So when you're submitting the blueprints, that's only for new construction, right? If it's the one wall up, you don't have to put
it's technically a garage conversion.
Got it.
It's pre-existing structure. So all new construction requires solar.
Got it.
All new construction requires solar. Now, it's a little bit tricky because the cities have been so slow to pick it up. Some cities, neighboring cities, for example, Pomona's in LA County, but Pomona has been very slow to pick it up.
Oh,
They've
wow.
just been like, I don't know, for whatever reason, they've been very slow. And Ontario, which is San Bernardino County, but it's still a neighboring city,
Sure.
super anal.
Wow.
They will not even accept my blueprints. I need a schematic design. I need the watts, the amount of panels, the system size. I need everything submitted as a package.
When you're doing the blueprints for the ADU, does the ADU need to be a certain amount of distance away from the retaining wall?
You have your setbacks, yeah.
Because it can't just be up against the wall, right?
The minimum I've seen is 4 feet.
Oh, okay.
I like to
that's
leave,
still pretty close.
I like to leave 5.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes a lot of my clients have such a big yard, so we put it dead center if they have no other plans of building anything.
Got it. Yeah, because there's probably utilities on the exterior. Maybe like a panel for sure, electrical panels on the exterior. Maybe your
meter, your
meters,
panel.
maybe your water heaters on the exterior.
A lot of our units have been electric, so the water heaters are tiny.
Oh yeah.
Tiny little things.
Yeah. It's like a little square up.
It's a little square. It's maybe like a 16 by 24, tiny little thing.
Are you doing any gas though for the stoves?
They're
or
electric.
The heaters?
The units are electric.
They're all electric, so no more gas.
It's rare that a client wants gas. It's rare. I think California's going green.
Yeah.
Yeah, California's going green, so don't quote me on this. I know it's something in regards to if it's not now, then it'll be in the future that they will require everything to be electric.
Sure.
So a lot of my clients are like, I'm fine on the gas. Let's just do all electric.
Cool. Nice. Right on.
Yeah.
Out of all of the finishes that you guys do,
Yes.
the foundation, the concrete work, the drywalling, the framing, the finishes, the final finishes, what would you say is like your guys' forte or your bread and butter? Like, what is it that you guys really, really specialize in, that you guys have down and you're the best of the best in the Inland Empire?
Let's see. I would say the kitchens and the bathrooms. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that for me is very fun. The kitchens, the bathrooms, seeing it come to like life. Foundation is fun.
Yeah.
But the kitchens and the bathrooms, that's like, I like to call that the jewelry. You know, all the girls, we have like pretty hair. Like, yes, of course, we need to make sure that our lungs and our livers are good. And that's like the framing and the foundation.
Well
but
put.
I like the jewelry.
Cool.
You know, I like to see the stone in. I like to see the kitchen cabinets in, the backsplash. You know, whether we're doing, you know, brushed gold, you know, brushed nickel. So I think the bread and butter is the finishes of the kitchen, the flooring, the stone, the tile, and that excites us.
Do you have any? I want to go into like some negative stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any stories where it was a nightmare project or a nightmare homeowner, or just things didn't go as you planned? Maybe weather could be one.
I think thankfully, I'm so blessed that I haven't had a nightmare customer as of now.
Oh, cool.
I'm so
Congrats.
blessed with that. A lot of my customers, 99% of my clients are women.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my
Okay.
ladies, love my ladies. You know, I like to guide us in the right direction. You know, it can be very scary. A lot of my girls, you know, they're either going through a hard time, they sold their house, going through a divorce. So as of right now, up to today, I have not had a
Cool.
bad client.
Well, that's good.
But I have had a bad project site.
Okay.
So it was in Rancho.
Okay.
And we're currently still dealing with it.
Got it.
We are on a hillside.
Okay.
Okay. So
Above 210.
above the 210.
Okay.
Yes. So our trench, it's not just dirt. It is boulders.
Oh, yeah.
It is boulders. It's not just rocks.
Yeah, that was like a creek at one point or something
Couldn't
like that,
even tell you
wasn't
what it was. And like, I don't know what it
There's
was.
just a bunch of rocks inside of the dirt. It's not even dirt.
No, it's not rocks. It's mountainside.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like boulders. It's just like, they're not rocks. I don't know. It's mountain that we're breaking.
Yeah.
It's just insane. So a trench, and this goes into unforeseen costs.
Right.
You know, because
You do change orders for things like that, right?
you see those type of things are up in the air because who's responsible for that? You know, am I responsible
But it's
for
unforeseen things that.
I know, but you got to pick and choose your battles.
Sure.
You know, so
Yeah.
I've learned in this field, I'm going to pick and choose my battles. In this case, obviously the work order included, I have to connect her utilities one way
yeah.
or another. I have to run the underground conduit dead center where that boulder is at.
No way. So it's what is it you guys are running? Conduit for electrical? Or
Electrical
you guys
conduit.
are running all the utilities on this?
In this specific trench, it's an electrical conduit that has to be ran from the curb that's out in the street all the way. It's about a 70-foot trench, and about 50 feet of that trench is mountain.
How deep are you going?
36 inches.
36 inches. Holy shit.
Yeah, 36 inches. That's 3 feet, right? Yeah.
I think that's 3 feet. Yeah.
That's 3 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And sometimes they're required to go 6 feet.
Oh my gosh. That's nutty.
Yeah,
Holy
40.
crap.
Yeah. So it's that was one, I think, that's one that we're working in right now. Another one, we trenched into property city line. So
You trenched into property city line.
we
What does that
trenched
mean?
into city property. I'm sorry. Okay. So
Oh, like a landfill or just vacant land?
no, it was the homeowner's property, their front yard. So check this out. You think you're
But
buying
like the parkway? Are you talking about the parkway?
No, it's like it was a front yard.
Yeah.
Imagine it's just a very simple front yard.
Okay.
Well, from the curb to where the grass started, that's city, right? The curb belongs
yeah.
to the city.
Right.
The city said, well, from the curb, don't touch my curb and don't touch 12 inches into the homeowner's yard. That's my property.
Are you serious?
We said,
What city was this?
prove it. And they did. We're like, how? It was in Pomona.
No way.
Yes. So you have the curb. Everybody knows the curb belongs to the city.
Right. And then maybe a little piece of grass that's in between the sidewalks of the front yard and
If there is
the curb.
that.
If there is that.
In this case, there wasn't.
Got it.
In this case, it was just the curb. Then started the grass. Well, they said, well, the curb is mine. And then 12, I don't remember it was 12 inches or 12 feet. It had to be 12 inches. Don't quote me on that.
That'd be a foot in, right? Yeah, just a foot in if it's 12 inches. Was it
But
more
it
than
was
a foot?
12 feet.
It was 12 feet?
In.
Holy
Yeah, not a foot. It was 12 feet. Yeah, it was in. So this was
Wait,
a
what were you
whole
guys running?
debacle.
Electrical or
No,
what were you guys doing?
Sewage and water.
Got it.
Sewage and water. So that was a nightmare. The city
gosh.
required us to pull an encroachment permit. Yes. And when you pull up an encroachment permit, your insurances have to go up.
Wow,
You have to up your insurances, and then you have to name the city as the payee.
Sure.
So that was
Wow.
a nightmare. It's never been with my clients. It's just been with like Earth or the city.
That's cool.
So yeah,
I'm glad it's been like that.
Yeah, because and then to the homeowner's surprise, they said, "Well, is the city going to come and maintain their 12 feet?" So
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, they should." And they're like,
They
"No,
have
you're
to fight
still
back.
required." Yeah, no, but the city's like, "No, you're still required to do grass or however I want it."
Has there been a city in, I don't know, a job area that you've worked at that you were like, holy crap, this city is ridiculous, too anal, and I can't believe it. Like they stick out more than all the others that you
Ontario.
worked on. Really?
Yes, Ontario. They've become so. I don't know if it's because they're developing all of Ontario
Ontario's
Ranch.
getting big.
Yeah,
Everyone's saying that's going to be the new Irvine.
That's what they're
of the
saying.
Inland
It's like
Empire.
one of the fastest growing cities. But
Yeah.
Irvine,
I have an escrow there, by the way.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Congrats.
like a couple blocks away from you.
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I recognized a kitchen similar. I was
Yeah.
like, I know that kitchen.
Yeah.
So congrats on that.
Yeah.
I did see that. That's so good. But yeah, Ontario has gotten so, they're just so anal. They're
Nitpicky
just
about
so
what they
anal.
want.
Not only are they notoriously slow, they're notoriously anal. They're the city that I can't submit my blueprints without a schematic design of solar.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly.
I can't do like over-the-counter revisions. Or, I'm sorry, I can't do over-the-counter corrections. Or
Wow.
what over-the-counter is basically
You go to City Hall and you make your corrections
you
there?
just make a quick correction. Like
Yeah.
for example, right now we're dealing with one. We're going to break ground on 600 square feet, and we needed to move the unit up 4 feet. We just needed to move it up.
Yeah.
Well, the city said no, revise everything.
What?
It's a 4-week turnaround.
Wait, how do you revise everything? What do you mean?
have to bring the approved plans. Then you have to
Oh,
provide
no.
a new site plan and dictate, okay, what's happening, what's taking place, and for 4 feet.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. But they have just become so anal. And I don't know, maybe they're just swamped.
Yeah.
They're understaffed.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I mean, great city to live in, just very difficult to work with. So if anybody lives in in Ontario, very important you know who you're working with and
Yeah.
that they know their ins and outs of the city.
Got it. Holy crap. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ontario's notorious. Rancho, beautiful. Montebello is great. Rialto is great.
The mayor's down the hall right here.
Oh, is he?
Well, ex-mayor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Montebello's great.
Yeah, Montebello's awesome.
Montebello's great. And then once you start working in the city, you start to get the same inspectors.
Sure.
So
You start knowing them like, hey, what's up, Jack?
Them. Yeah. And they're like,
That's
oh, what are you
funny.
here for? I'm like, oh, oh, okay, I already see you. There's in Pomona right now. That's another thing. In Pomona right now, we've done several ADUs in Pomona. Pomona is amazing to work with.
Yeah.
And we've done several ADUs, but unfortunately, the blueprints that were provided to us by the clients were done incorrectly by the engineer or the architect. Hence, footings.
Yeah.
In the blueprints, it notates that the garage has footings, did not have footings,
Oh, damn.
did not have any footings. So you're approved, you're ready to break ground, and then guess what? Somebody comes out and they're like, you don't have any footings. We had to do 14 footings.
Whoa.
You know what 14 footings are?
That sounds expensive and timely
it's very
and a lot of energy.
expensive. Correct. So Thankfully, we got the inspector that we kept getting in our other projects. So he's like, you know what, guys, don't worry about it. Put in your footings. I'll sign off on them. You guys are good to go. And
Oh,
just
cool.
keep moving forward.
Nice.
Otherwise, we were going to have to do revisions to showcase that there is no footings. That was going to cost the client thousands of dollars. We would have had to do a whole new set of
That's
prints.
horrible.
Yeah, but
Well, I'm glad he signed off on it.
oh, it's because sometimes when you work with the city so much, or
Yeah.
with specific cities, they start to know you.
Yeah, they start trusting you.
Exactly. Inspectors
cool.
talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Inspectors talk. They have 7 a.m. meetings and they have 5 o'clock meetings.
Oh, wow.
So if you're if you're assigned an inspector, that inspector told the other inspector, hey, keep an eye on so-and-so.
Oh.
They failed or something like that.
Wow.
Inspectors talk.
All right, well, let's talk about positive now, because
Yes.
that was a little bit of the negative. I think that was bad, the 3-foot trench and having to break rock and things like
my
that. But let's
goodness.
get into the good stuff, because I'm sure you have good stories too, and
Yeah.
probably like amazing conversations and maybe relationships with homeowners that you've helped build
Yeah.
ADUs or put in new kitchens for them. Do you have a story about, I don't know, a family that you helped out?
A lot of my clients are women, and they're either going through like a difficult time where it's like, hey, I'm going through a divorce. We sold the house. This is all I have. Like, by meaning all I have is like, I can't afford to go buy a new house because
Sure.
interest rates are so expensive, so on and so forth. Like, I'm afraid of getting scammed. I'm afraid that I'm going to give my money to the wrong person, contractor horror stories. So a lot of my girls are going through whatever case.
Right.
So specifically, one, she's also in Pomona. She's going through a divorce and she has only a certain amount of money. It's either I put it into this. I can't afford to buy a new house.
Wait, you're fixing up the house for her to sell it, or what are you going to do?
An ADU.
Oh. For who to live in?
For her to live in.
Oh.
That's where she moved back to her parents. She's going through a divorce.
Oh, the ADU is going to be at her parents'
At her
house.
parents'
Oh,
house.
I understand now.
She is going through a divorce, or went through a divorce. They sold
Yeah.
the house.
Got it.
Her house, hers and her husband's house. I don't know how much equity she got from it.
Yeah.
But now she's building an ADU, and she was like deathly scared. Where do I start? How do I start? She's just going through a divorce, so she's not
Yeah.
trying to deal with men.
Yeah,
She's like, I
seriously.
don't even want to speak with another man at the moment. I was like, no problem.
And here comes Jess. I'm
And
your
here
girl.
I come. Don't worry about it, girl. We'll make it happen. And I think that happens a lot. That happens like a ton.
Yeah, for sure.
So in this case, she trusted me, and we're
Cool.
creating her blueprints.
Oh, you're still under construction on this
No,
one, or
we
you're
haven't
not?
even
You haven't?
broken- check this one out.
Yeah,
Their house
yeah.
has no sewage.
It's a septic tank.
They're connected to the neighbors.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait,
so
what city is
imagine
this?
Pomona.
Whoa.
Imagine a single family house. You're ready to you need to get the 2% slope. You need to create the blueprints, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, everybody was surprised to figure out that house does not have an independent sewage line. They're tapped into their neighbors.
So they don't.
Have a sewage line. They're connected to their neighbors, and whatever their neighbors is connected to, we don't even know if the neighbor has their own sewage line or if they're connected to their neighbors. And
But
so
what do you do at this point? Do you have to build out a brand new sewage for them and
I'm
connect it
gonna
to the
have
public
So
sewer?
that's what we're kind of,
You
because
kinda
if I
kinda
have
stuck?
to build out a new sewage line, I have to trench.
That's like 20, 30, 40 grand, no?
I have to go under city.
Oh my gosh.
I have to. It's the city. It's a street.
Yeah.
I have to open up the entire street and connect across the street.
What?
Yeah, so we're probably hoping that the city can allow us to connect into a clean out.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, hopefully it's like big enough and they can connect into a clean out. But now the homeowner, the neighbor is aware, oh, you guys are tapped into my line. So now there's like a situation because they're like, well, that explains why I'm always backed up. And they're like, no, you know what I mean? Like now that homeowner, the neighbor's like, well, now somebody needs to fix my piping but that house in specific has no
crazy.
sewage line.
Wow.
No sewage line. So we don't know if the neighbor is even connected to the street.
How crazy.
He could be connected to the neighbor, and the neighbor could be connected to the neighbor. but we went to the property. We went to Norwalk to pull up the rec. There's nothing on file.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So what do you do at this point? You have to go to the city hall,
The
and
city
you have
doesn't
to
have no record of it.
So it's kind of like break open and figure it out
Exactly.
as you go.
But you have to keep in mind, breaking open can cost thousands of dollars
Yeah.
if the city says create your own sewage line.
How does this girl feel? The
They're
client
stressed. They're stressed because
that sucks.
they've been living there for 30 years to now find out we don't even have our own sewage line.
How crazy.
So I can't connect into at the point where I need to connect, it tees to the neighbor.
Got it.
It doesn't keep going to the street where normally it should keep going to the street.
Got it.
So we're going to
Jess,
hope.
I said something positive. I don't see
Yeah, no, I'm
anything
sorry.
positive about this.
I'm sorry. It's just, guys, you need to know who you're working with. There's
This
so
just
many
goes at the
things-
construction industry. There's a lot of things that just come up.
Yeah.
That they're
yeah,
unplanned for.
Like I think the positive stuff is when I finally am able to give those keys over.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
think
same for me.
that's where it's like, we finally did it. Here are your keys. Up until the day that I give those keys, you're just going and going
Yeah.
and going and going and putting out fires and being on top of things. And but I think the positive thing is, one, yes, helping, people who are, their families are going to be living in the back, or their in-laws, or their mother, or so on and so forth. But I think the prime where we peak is where we hand over those keys. Here you go. Here's your ADU. Ignore any mishaps that has happened, or you finally get here's your turnkey ready.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
it.
for sure. All right. So I kind of want to flip the convo,
Yes.
but I want to talk about Teslas now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how is that? How
I'm
do you like-
enjoying mine.
you like
I've been
yours?
loving
Yeah?
mine.
Yeah, you like it?
How about you?
I like it. I mean,
How long have you had it? You have the Model 3.
Yeah. I just got something super cute, super basic.
It's not basic. What are you talking about?
It's my little
It's a
cutesy
Tesla.
car. Yeah, but I got it July of 2023.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's awesome when it's charged.
Sure.
But when it's not charged, oh my God, that's a doozy.
You charge at home though, don't you? Every
do,
night?
But I get home so tired sometimes, and I just tend to no. I still have my gas car.
Okay.
Yeah, I kept my gas car, so I still have my little gas car. I refuse to get rid of it. So
Really?
yeah, the reason, you see, the thing is that I would still be using my little hoopty, my little gas car.
Yeah.
The reason I got the Tesla, an electric car, was because of the incentive. Not because I needed a new car or because I wanted
It does have a cool tax incentive.
Yeah, that's literally it. And as a business owner, you can use all the tax incentives
Yeah.
you want. You can, which leads me to the next point: ADU grants.
Yeah?
Yeah. There has been one.
Is there tax incentives for building an ADU?
No, but there's free money.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's talk
40,000.
about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Side note, guys.
Yeah.
ADU grants. There's a bill that's about to, every year there's been a couple millions.
Is this per city or all LA County, Riverside County?
Every county has
They kind of have their own thing going.
Every county has a certain income household that you can't be above.
Okay.
Right? But everyone asks me, hey, what's going on with the with the grant. 2022 had it, 2023 had it, and there was no news on 2024. But if you're looking to build an ADU, there's been money set aside for 2024. I don't know how many millions or billions has been set aside, but that money is gone within 2 hours.
What?
So yes, if you guys are looking to do the grants, I can tell Jesse what website to.
Yeah, we'll put it in the
I think
description
it's
below.
Cal Housing or
Okay.
something like that. Just stay on it because I do believe that they approved it. I don't believe it's been released
Got
yet,
it.
but it's $40,000 that you do not have to pay back. 3 of my clients got it last year.
Wow.
3 of my clients got it last year, so it's $40,000 that goes towards pre-development paperwork, or it's $40,000.
Yeah.
Apply it to however you want, but you don't have to pay it back. It's free money. Obviously, you do have to qualify for it. Every county has a specific household income that you can't surpass. But if you're able to get it, that's literally free money. And
Wow, how crazy.
You know, the thing with that though, you'll never see it. The homeowner will never see it.
It goes straight to you.
It goes straight to the contractor.
Got it.
So that's why it's very important.
Yeah.
You know who you're working with, because you can be out that money. You will never see it. The state pays the contractor directly. But yeah.
How does one finance the remaining amount? Let's say the project is 140 grand. They get 40 grand from this. They have 100 grand remaining. Can they pull a loan on anything?
Well, that's
because we
the
talked
whole
about the whole
HELOC.
credit card stuff
Well,
and the
that's the whole-
HELOC. But is there
it's interesting.
construction loans like specifically to build ADUs?
There are construction loans, but I don't know the interest rates on those.
Got it.
A lot of my
Might not be
clients
worth it.
ask me, it might not be worth it. It could be really, really expensive. I don't know, but I would say look into that. There's so many different ways that you can, but a huge one is HELOC. The other one is the grants. The other ones are credit cards. I don't know much about construction loans.
Got it.
I think the interest rates I can imagine them being pretty high too.
And the best way is cash.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, like, if you do anticipate getting that grant, all of that money goes into an escrow account. So
Okay,
the state,
that makes sense.
The state puts 40,000. So you have to submit your work order to the state.
Yeah.
You have to submit your work order and your invoice. This is how much it's going to cost. 100, 160, whatever. The city says, okay, or the state says, okay, I will give you 40. I'll put it into the escrow account. You have to put in the difference before you can break ground. So you
how
have
crazy.
to have that money. So it won't work if you plan on doing it on a credit card.
Got it.
It won't work if you plan on doing it. You have to have that money like cash.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So what was the oh yeah, that's why I got my Tesla. Because
For
there
the tax incentives.
because there was a tax write-off. There was an incentive for that. So otherwise I'd still be driving around my little hoopty for
Really?
sure. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
I would have thought you went 100% electric and you wouldn't be riding in another car.
No way. I forget to charge that dang thing. I can only take it to like San Diego. I can't come back. So,
Yeah, but yeah.
you know,
I guess for long distance trips, I
it's
wouldn't
not
take
the
it.
best. No.
I agree.
You need a gas car.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
I don't know that there is a car that's electric that. What's the highest electric car? Does anything give you 500 miles?
Not in the Tesla world right now.
No, definitely not in
The
Teslas.
best-
But I'm thinking like an electric Lexus or.
There's probably like maybe it's Lucid. Have you seen the Lucids that are
Lucid
out
is
there?
nice.
They are very nice. They're like a step up from the Teslas.
Yeah,
They're freaking beautiful.
They're freaking expensive.
I think that one has like a 500-mile range.
Okay, probably.
Something like that.
But at some point you have to charge it,
Yeah.
you know? So,
I think for the everyday person that's just going to work and back 30 miles, 40
That's what
miles,
I use it
100
for.
miles, it's freaking perfect.
that's what I use it for.
It kicks ass at that.
That's it. Yeah. But if I'm going like long distance, I got to hop in my little, I have
agree.
to hop in my little car.
Yeah, gas combustion. Like
Yeah.
I think if I were going to do a Vegas trip, I probably would still do, if I'm not flying, I would probably still do gas. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to take the Tesla.
I wouldn't even take it. No. Have
it'd
you
be a
seen
pain in the
those-
ass,
Have you
right?
seen those like videos where there's like a concert, there's like some type of event, and everybody took their car, and on their way back, you know how there's like a halfway point where your car will tell you like, hey, you need to stop by here
Yeah.
and charge up or you won't make it. Well, that bad boy was like filled.
No
So nobody
way.
could charge.
Oh no! Waiting all day to
all
just
day
charge.
to charge.
That's
Well,
crazy.
the problem is when you're at 1%, how much can you really wait? You got to turn off everything.
yeah,
So
you got to power off the car
And they're fun. They're cute. They're
in 100
neat.
degrees.
Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. They're really neat and they're really cool to have. But I would never get rid of my little hoopty. And if the day that I do get rid of it, I'll probably have to invest into a smaller, just like little gas car to have. You have to. You have to have gas. I don't see how we can all go green.
Yeah.
You know? How do you like yours? Why'd you sell the first one?
I got rid of the Model S because it was too low to the ground. The technology was
It was
outdated.
too down to earth. Oh, what?
It was a 2017.
Oh, okay. I was
Technology was outdated.
It was outdated?
It had Chrome. I wasn't
like
a fan of. I don't
Chrome.
like Chrome,
Well, okay.
and it didn't have a good sound system. It had the basic sound system. Those are probably the 4 reasons why I got rid of it. So I got that car for
Too low to the
$28,000.
ground. It was. You couldn't update the software.
I could, but it was another $2,000.
Oh, so that's another thing.
Yeah.
The the self-driving situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was an additional like $15K.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I was like,
yeah, it's expensive.
do you like it?
Oh, I
Should I
enjoy the
buy
hell
it?
out of it.
Nah.
I think because you're still using the regular gas combustion, you haven't gone fully electric.
Yeah.
I would say
You've gone
nah.
fully electric?
Yeah, only electric.
You don't have any gas cars?
No.
So, no, nothing.
No. I mean, Heather's SUV,
I was going
but
to say,
that's
does
it.
Heather have anything?
But that's her daily. The only daily
So
I have is
you really
the,
just rely on that guy?
Yeah, that's.
So what if it goes off the grid?
I wouldn't take it off the grid.
No. What if there's like a situation where there's like no more power?
All right. In order for that to happen,
Nothing's going to
like
work.
the world has to be coming down or
so
something.
what
I don't
happens
know.
if you have like a, I guess you could supercharge.
I charge it every night.
No, I don't charge it.
I have a spot at home that I just plug it in every night. I wake up to 80% every day.
Why 80? Why not 100?
It says on the app it's recommended
I've
to
been
do
charging
80.
to 80 to 100.
Really?
Well, I go about a week without charging.
Jess.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Well, because I work a lot from my computer, right? Unless I'm doing like in-home consultations.
Yeah.
It's very rare that like I'm out and about sometimes.
Got it.
So I work a lot. So sometimes I can go up to a week without charging.
Jess.
Like right now, I'm on like 60 miles.
Did you bring it?
Yeah, she's outside.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm like on 60 miles. I have to find a supercharger.
Jess.
I know. Well,
Try to build the habit of just plugging it in every night.
Well,
I swear.
Adrian's supposed to charge it for me every night, but
damn it, Adrian.
Yeah.
That's not the guy to depend
like his
on
thing.
for
Like,
charging
if it's
it.
the one thing you do, just make sure my car is charged because he comes home after me every day. So it's like, babe, just charge my car and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Doesn't charge it. Yeah.
Damn it, Adrian.
He's busy. I know. But no, driving around, I'm like 19%. So
I swear it's life changing. If you just charge it every night, just try to build the habit. It's freaking awesome. I'm not going to gas stations. I haven't gone to a gas station in so long. It feels weird going to one.
Yeah. Well, the other day I had to stop by one because I had to get something from the inside the store. Like, I don't remember what I was getting. And I parked up and the guys just looked at me like, does she know what she's doing? I'm like, yes, guys, I'm just kidding.
You pulled up in the Tesla.
I pulled up in the Tesla and then I pulled up to like a pump.
Got it.
You know, because whatever. And then,
why wouldn't you park there?
Yeah.
I've done that before.
And then I just went inside and they're like, does she know that doesn't use gas? I'm like,
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't use gas. I think the last time I've gone was my dad is the one that fills up my
Oh, that's sweet
my
of him.
little car because he'll sometimes
cool.
use it because you can't just let it sit there.
Yeah.
Or if you let it sit there, then the battery starts to go out. Your tires start to like not be good anymore. Your brakes start to rust. So my dad will drive it around sometimes and he'll like put gas in it. But I haven't gone to the gas station in a long time.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
Well, let's end it there. Let's first, I know like whenever I needed work done at a property at one of my escrows or something, all of the good contractors are busy and they're typically booked for like the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
For the people watching this still, thanks for watching this still, but for the people watching this, do you have availability this year? Summer?
So for our ADU team, you know, thankfully this year we have about 7 of them booked out for 2024. Cool. So, you know, now we welcome any ADU because you guys have to keep in mind that just because you get started this year,
you're not starting tomorrow.
You're not starting this year, chances are. You know, we're already in March. March is almost over. So if you've been contemplating the idea of getting your ADU started and you don't have your blueprints, you don't have anything, chances are you probably won't break ground until April, May, June, like July.
Wow.
You know, so you probably won't even be moved in until December, you know, so that's kind of how it is. So a lot of my contracts, a lot of my work that we're doing this was actually booked in 2022.
Wow.
So, and then it's just we're now starting to roll them out. So
how cool.
Yeah. So for ADUs, we're still taking them on, but I mean, for ADUs, thankfully we're nice and busy. For kitchens and bathrooms, those have such quick turnaround times.
Got it.
So we're always available, obviously within reason, because there is a schedule.
Yeah, you're not starting the project tomorrow.
Right, of course. Yeah. But bathrooms, kitchens, and interior home remodels, we're always open for that.
Cool.
And we like to pump them out without compromising the quality of the craftsmanship, the work, you know, so yeah.
So where can people find you? How do they get in touch with you?
So our Instagram is buildaduhomeremodel.com. Oh, that's our website. But our Instagram is also BuildADU Home Remodel. Yeah, so that's kind of where you can just reach out, and you'll see a lot of. I'm trying to do better with like our social media.
You're doing great. I checked
tough,
it out.
Though it's kind of tough. I'm trying to like educate people on our social media too, with like the same thing. Like people think that garage conversions are cheaper than new construction, and it's actually. New construction is cheaper than a garage conversion.
Oh, wow. Crazy.
So I'm trying to educate people on that because it's such a hot topic, but there's so much misconceptions out there about what it is to really build out an ADU. And I had them too until I got heavily involved in the business. But yeah, I'm doing my best.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Jess.
Thanks, Jess. Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.